My name is Lorenzo Acconciamessa. I come from Italy and I'm a PhD student. I come from Italy, from the center of Italy, but I studied law in Milan at the Catholic University of Milan. And right now I'm doing a PhD in human rights law at the University of Palermo in partnership with the Université Pariane, Panthéon-Sorbonne. And I'm also working as a trainee lawyer in the field of human rights law. So I'm mostly right now working as a counsel in proceedings before the European Court of Human Rights. And my research project for the PhD deals with judicial techniques used by international courts and tribunals. And I'm mostly focusing on whether and how international courts and tribunals can resort to some techniques, in particular the balancing of values technique, in order to further promote the protection of common values and common goods in international law, and in particular the protection of human rights, cultural heritage, and the environment. Right now, I am participating to the transmaking project at the Relais Culture Europe in Paris, and I had the possibility to participate to the project because the University of Palermo is a partner to the transmaking project, and I decided to join my PhD research to the subject the transmaking deals with. So I'm focusing on the international recognition of an individual right to the protection of cultural heritage. My interest to the topic comes from a decision of the European Court of Human Rights, which in 2019 considered that there is not, under the European Convention on Human Rights, an individual right to access cultural heritage. So starting from this specific decision, my research wants to understand if international law protects cultural heritage also has a human rights. So as a human, I have a right to access cultural heritage, or only, as the European Court said, as a state obligation to protect cultural heritage, which is owned towards other states, but not towards an individual as a human. So my research will be mostly based on case law. I will be researching the European Court of Human Rights case law on the protection of cultural heritage. And as for now, what I've discovered is that under human rights law, cultural heritage is protected only as a right of minorities and indigenous people, but not as a right of everybody. So what I want to do now is to focus also on the case law of the Inter-American Court of Human Rights and the African Court of Human Rights in order to understand whether those courts are more flexible on the field of the protection of cultural heritage, or whether there is a common understanding of that right between the three human rights courts. And then, of course, I will do more desk research in order to understand whether scholars consider that such a right already exists or maybe should exist in the future.